Hi everybody, thanks for joining me. Exciting times if you're an Oasis fan. As I sit here and record this, it is now about 11:15 on the Saturday morning of the Oasis tickets going on sale. I got really lucky last night and got in on the pre-sale. Got 2 tickets for Manchester Heathen Park. I'm glad I'm out of the nonsense that's going on the internet this morning. Good luck to everybody who's trying to get tickets. I thought I would do a video here where I'm going to go through my Oasis collection here of CDs, vinyl, concert tickets, and just throw in a few stories along the way of what Oasis have meant to me over the years. I deliberately haven't looked through this CD collection just now before I do this video because I want to go into it with what I remember rather than what I've just sort of tried to look up and try and remember this morning. So I might be asking you to fill in some of the blanks down in the comments. Please do that if you want to, or memories of any of this stuff. I'm going to start off with concert tickets first. Like everybody, I don't have all the concert tickets for things I've been to. Unfortunately, some get lost. Sometimes you don't get to see them. E-tickets nowadays, of course. But first of all, one of my pride and joys there, my Oasis ticket from Nebworth. 1996, wow, what a day that was. This was the Sunday, the second of the 2 days. So among the support acts we had were Cooler Shaker, Cast, The Charlatans. It was the first gig that they'd done. It was after the death of the keyboard player, which was about a month before this. We didn't know if they were going to show up. We had Manic Street Preachers as well. Just a fantastic show. Iconic day in British history. That and the day before it. And it's going to be like that again next summer. Can't believe it. Brilliant. We've got some Noel Gallagher tickets here. I've seen him several times, including just a few weeks ago in Halifax, Peace Hall, which I don't have a ticket for, unfortunately, because there were e-tickets back then. I've got another Oasis ticket here actually, Reebok Stadium, Bolton from 2000. So this would be the Standing on the Shoulders of Giants tour. Happy Mondays supporting them on that day, which was great. I remember Bez coming on stage. He had like a brown paper bag on his head, so nobody knew if it was really Bez. And he was like that for about 20 minutes, and then he just whipped the paper bag off during one song, and it was Bez, and the crowd went absolutely wild. That's actually the main thing I remember about that day, rather than what Oasis did, was Bez and his paper bag on his head. Another Noel ticket there. And a couple of tickets that actually aren't Oasis, but they're related to Oasis. So first of all, there's this Paul Weller ticket here from Bridlington Spa Royal Hall in 1997, because the support band was Heavy Stereo. Lead singer Gem Archer, who of course went and spent years in Oasis, and we expect him to be part of the reunion tours next year. And I remember thinking, wow, what a great frontman he is. I hadn't heard of him before that night. And when Oasis split up in 2009, right at the very end, they did a couple of festivals towards the end, but the very last actual Oasis gig was in my hometown of Bridlington, at the Bridlington Spa Royal Hall, a stage that since then I've played several times, and I always made sure I stood where Noel was standing. But I couldn't go to that gig because I already had a ticket to see U2 in Sheffield that night. So that ticket to me is a memory of a great U2 gig, but also a memory of the fact that I couldn't go and see Oasis in what became their last proper gig before they split up. So that's a few of the tickets that I've got. CDs now, I'm going to go through. I've got loads of Oasis CDs. These should be in chronological order of release. If not, let me know, have it in the comments. I've probably misfiled something. But first of all, we've got the first single, Supersonic from 1994, the birth of a legend. And of course, this was Oasis right from the start, kicking off as one of the great B-side bands of all time, probably. Take Me Away was, I think, probably the best B-side from that. We've got a white label demo of Columbia, which is great, but Take It Away, sung by Noel, giving us a flavour of how a lot of his songs might go over the years. We've then got Shaker Maker, the next single. I've honestly never been a particular fan of Shaker Maker. You've got, I think my 2 favourites there, Do You Want to Be a Spaceman as a B-side, and the fact that you've got that alive, is it the 8-track demo? Yeah, a live 8-track demo I really like as well. Yeah, I've never really liked Shaker Maker as a song. It's probably, it's the only bit of Definitely Maybe, that I'm not that fussed about, to be honest. Just never really liked it. I picked up a lot of these really early singles, not as they came out. I got into Oasis more towards the back end of 1994. I'd got a Q magazine free CD that had Slide Away on it, and that was my introduction to Oasis. I'd heard of them, but I'd never really listened to them before that. And then over the sort of next few months before Some Might Say came out, I started to pick up all the earlier singles. We've then, of course, got Live Forever, Menlove Avenue there, John Lennon's childhood home, where he grew up with his Aunt Mimi. I mean, Live Forever, is it the greatest Oasis song? It might well be. It might well be. Cloudburst, a good acoustic version of Up in the Sky there. Cloudburst being a real good sort of B-side of the era. And all those came out before Definitely Maybe came out, so hence why this just enters the picture now. And I remember this is my original 1994 CD that I bought, and I bought it mainly off the back. Like I said, heard Slide Away, but then I just saw all those track titles and I thought, how can that not be a brilliant album with songs called things like Rock and Roll Star, Cigarettes and Alcohol, Live Forever? They just sound like great songs before you've even heard them. And one of the greatest debut albums of all time. It's got to be. I then got this reissue from 2014 of Definitely Maybe that I'm sure a lot of you have got. That's got second and third discs of loads of extras, live stuff, demos, that kind of thing. And I think my favourite thing on here, there's a live version of Live Forever, live Paris in store. I like that version. Really good, but I probably need to give this more attention. I've got the new version of Definitely Maybe that's coming out for the 30th anniversary on order. It should be arriving in a couple of days' time. Got that ordered on 4-disc vinyl and the CD version as well. So looking forward to getting that. After Definitely Maybe came out, the next single then, Cigarettes and Alcohol. Like I say, unless I've misfiled these, I don't think I have. It's got the obviously classic I Am the Walrus live version on the B-side. But Listen Up and Fade Away, two great songs. Fade Away, for me, there's obviously that other version on the War Child album as well, which I probably prefer. You know, the one that's got Johnny Depp on guitar, and it's a much sort of gentler version. But Fade Away, classic B-side from Oasis. And I love the fact that in all of these really early singles, you got these information cards, you know, where you could sort of send off to what could you send off to get? For more information on Oasis, live dates, releases, etc., fill in your details below. I wonder if I filled that in now and sent it off, would I get some information about next year's gigs? I assume not. But anyway, this is whatever, isn't it? This is whatever. So obviously not on Definitely Maybe. This was I think of this as being the end of the Definitely Maybe phase before we sort of go into the What's the Story. And this I did buy when it came out. So this was my first purchase of an Oasis song or album at the moment it was released. So that's quite a special one for me, is that. And of course, well, Half the World Away as a B-side. One of the great B-sides of all time, I would imagine. And then I think we're coming up to the start now of the What's the Story Morning Glory period, with Some Might Say. We're entering the spring of 95 now. And I mean, great B-sides here. Talk Tonight, Acquiesce, Head Shrinker. Talk Tonight is a song that I've played live a lot of times. Really enjoy playing that. Acquiesce, I really hope that they do Acquiesce next summer at the gigs. Will they? I don't know. It's a possibility, and I think a lot of people would be really happy if they did Acquiesce there. Then we've got, I mean, the battle of Britpop, Oasis versus Blur. This ended up coming second, of course, in that battle. This is Roll With It from August 1995. And B-sides, again, it's Better People, great. Rocking Chair, fantastic, and a live version of Live Forever from Glastonbury 95. So yeah, that would have been really new at the time when this came out. I mean, that Blur versus Oasis thing, it was silly, it was overblown, but it was legendary, and it was fantastic as well. One of the highlights of just what happened in music in the 90s. We've then got What's the Story Morning Glory, of course. And this this CD was bought for when I got back off my honeymoon. It was waiting in the house because we got back off our honeymoon the day that this came out. So, you know, a lot of memories there. That album just changed Britain. I think it changed the way kids were, with the way they dressed, the way they looked, their attitude. It changed all sorts of things. And if you're an Oasis fan watching this, you don't need me to tell you just how things changed as a result of that album. Fantastic. Then there's this version. Again, did this also come out 2014? It did. This sort of anniversary edition that again has got various sort of demos and live versions. I probably need to spend more time with this, to be honest. I've not spent a lot of time with that, to be honest. We've then got Wonderwall. I mean, it's a classic. Of course, it's a classic. Is it overplayed? Probably. But we've got The Master Plan on there as a B-side. Again, one of the great B-sides of all time. Didn't even get to number one, this, did it? Crazy. It didn't get to number one, did it? Am I right in remembering that? I think I'm right in remembering it didn't get to number one. Then we move into 1996 now, Don't Look Back in Anger single. And again, let's have a look at the B-sides here. Step Out, Underneath the Sky, Come On Feel the Noise. I really loved that cover of Come On Feel the Noise. That's one that meant a lot to me. And again, the band I was in at around the time, we played Come On Feel the Noise. But I need to stop kicking the camera. But we deliberately did it as an Oasis style. Step Out, of course, ended up having to be given a songwriting credit to Stevie Wonder because it was a little too close to Uptight. That's pile number one done. We've got a few piles here. So did I just say I've got piles here? Let's rephrase that, shall we? Let's get the second lot out. Okay, so that Don't Look Back in Anger single sort of took us up to the end of the What's the Story Morning Glory era, and then we were, well, certainly in terms of releases, there was a big gap. There was Nebworth, of course, showing the ticket for that in 1996. And then they went away and came back with a behemoth of an album. And this was the opening single. I love this song. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. The B-sides as well, Stay Young, Angel Child and Heroes. I mean, not the greatest cover version of all time for Heroes. But it's such an exciting time again because What's the Story had been so big and they'd become so massive. The anticipation that was building up around sort of July, August 97 for what was coming was incredible, and honestly like nothing I've ever witnessed. Now you might have noticed, or you certainly will as we go through, I don't tend to get involved too much in bootlegs, but I have got this Oasis Now 97. And a lot of this, not all of it, but some of it comes from a TV special that was aired at the point where Be Here Now was released. And there's a version of Stand By Me on here that features on that TV programme that's got it's got a bit of a duff chord change in it. It's just Noel and Liam acoustic sat outside in a nice sort of country setting doing that. So it's good to have it for that reason. And then this is the CD that I bought on August 21st, was it? Yeah, 1997. It's the biggest release of an album that I've witnessed in my lifetime. Absolutely incredible. I was in HMV in Leeds to pick this up. They opened early. They opened at 7:30 in the morning rather than 8 o'clock so that people could go in, browse, get things off the shelves, but they wouldn't serve you till 8. And just the crowd that descended on the till at 5 to 8 was incredible, and you know, absolutely consumed this album for quite a while. And I remember at the time, I think it was Chris Evans on TFI Friday who, about a month after that came out, he said, Be Here Now, it's not actually that good, is it? And I think that started a bit of a tide against it, because this had been sort of hailed as the sort of second coming of music, basically. And then it turned out that, all right, yeah, there's some great songs on it, but it's way too long. It really is way too long. Do we need 9 minutes of All Around the World and then a reprise? Probably not, but it's a legendary moment in music history, I think, is that album. And again, we've got an anniversary version. I think this came out the year after, didn't it? Or 2 years after even, 2016. This anniversary version of Be Here Now. Again, I need to spend a bit more time with it, really. We've got B-sides and extra tracks on the second disc. And then you've got the demos on the third disc. I've not spent enough time with it. And then we've got Stand By Me. Again, another song that I've loved playing live over the years. We're starting to get into the era where there's still some great B-sides to be found, like, for example, Going Nowhere on here. Lovely song. But I think we're starting to get into the era now where it wasn't all fantastic B-sides. You may disagree with that, and that's absolutely fine. Let me know in the comments. It's all opinion, isn't it? But we then got the CD version, the CD single of All Around the World. And yes, the Fame, Flashbacks, and a cover of Street Fighting Man as B-sides. Not my favourite B-sides at all there. And then this was Don't Go Away, which I think this must have been an import version. I don't think this was released in the UK, was it? Am I remembering that rightly? Like I said, I didn't want to go and research all this. I wanted to go from my memory, and please fill in the blanks that down in the comments if you can. There's a live version of Cigarettes and Alcohol. It's got Sad Song on here, which is great to have on CD. That was the first time I'd got Sad Song on CD. And then it's got the War Child version of Fade Away. So for anybody who missed out on that on the War Child album, that's on there as well. We've then got we've got the Master Plan album. Now, I'm not one of those people who regards the Master Plan as an Oasis studio album. It isn't. When did they go into the studio to record the Master Plan album? They didn't. It's nonsense. I didn't actually buy this until really recently. I didn't need to because I had all the B-sides anyway. It was only during lockdown when Tim Burgess from Charlatans was doing the listening parties. And he did a listening party for the Master Plan. And I thought, well, I'm going to have to get it, aren't I? So I got it, and was actually pleased to realise that there was some slight variations on this CD that have, compared to the CD singles, I can't remember off the top of my head what they were. So I actually got some things that I didn't technically have before. We're then moving on to the next album, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. And this has got one of my all-time favourite Oasis songs on here, which is Go Let It Out. And maybe a lot of people might not say that it's one of their favourite songs, and that's absolutely fine. I love it. I love the energy of it. Absolutely fantastic. And it has got some great songs on it. Where Did It All Go Wrong? I thought was great. There's a great line in that is, do you keep the receipts for all the friends that you buy? That was a good line, was that? Well done, Noel, on that. But it's also got my least favourite Oasis song of all time on here. Who Feels Love? Can't stand it. Awful. And I don't mind Little James. It's obviously very childish and silly, but I quite enjoyed Little James. There is the single of Go Let It Out. What were the... Oh, Let's All Make Believe. That's two really good B-sides actually here. Let's All Make Believe, and As Long As They've Got Cigarettes in Hell. So yeah, back on form with the B-sides there, and we're still getting these little cards in here. A fixed postage stamp to receive information on Oasis. Again, could be a laugh to actually send one of those off now and see what happens. We've then got, this is my least favourite Oasis song, Who Feels Love. And we're starting to get into the era now of, this is an enhanced CD, which contains a video for Who Feels Love. I mean, I don't even know what would happen if you put that in a computer nowadays. The B-sides, One Way Road and Helter Skelter. One Way Road was a song that I probably cruelly ignored for quite a long time. And I think Paul Weller did a cover of that, didn't he, if I remember rightly? Was that the one that was the theme tune to Jack D's Lead Balloon? Or unless I've completely misremembered. What we've got here, Sunday Morning Call. I don't mind Sunday Morning Call. It's a bit Noel by numbers. Carry Us All was a good B-side, and if I'm being honest, I don't even remember what Full On sounds like. I should probably go and listen to that again because I don't remember that one, being completely honest. That's the second pile done. We are getting there, folks. Now, which pile do I go to next? I think I'm going to, yes, this pile here. Okay, so let's just make sure we get this the right way around. Yeah, here we go. So off the back of that tour then we've got Familiar to Millions, great live album. Again, I didn't pick this up until quite a few years afterwards. I think this might have been an eBay purchase a few years later. But I do really like the, there's a version of, which one was it? Cigarettes and Alcohol is my favourite live version on there. But then again, Cigarettes and Alcohol is another one of my absolute favourite Oasis songs. We're then moving into the Heathen Chemistry era, and preceding that album was the Hindu Times. So that we're getting into the era now where there was more than one CD single released for a particular song. So you've got the B-sides there, which was Just Getting Older and Idler's Dream. So that was the regular CD single. But then they also, at the same time, or it might have been a week after, I can't remember, they put out a DVD version. So this has got audio, the Hindu Times. It's got Hindu Times demo, which, if I remember rightly, I think Noel sang that, didn't he? And then you've got 10 minutes of Noise and Confusion from Oasis on tour in America. So yeah, we were entering this phase of getting not just a CD but a DVD as well. So there's a few of these I think coming up now. We've got This is Heathen Chemistry. Yeah, it was sometimes hard to tell the albums from the DVD singles, but that's Heathen Chemistry. Some of you will know, I'll just mention at this point, some of you will know that I've switched most of my CD collection over to sort of plastic polypropylene wallets. Saves loads of space. Oasis are exempt from that process because Oasis are too special for me. Same as the Beatles, they're exempt from that process as well. Heathen Chemistry, I do really like the Hindu Times as the opening song. If I was going to pick out my favourites on here, I liked Hung in a Bag Place. Stop Crying Your Heart Out will always be associated in my mind and probably a lot of people's minds with England getting knocked out of the 2002 World Cup by Brazil because BBC played it over the end credits, and some of us have never forgotten that. Songbird, great. Little by Little, what a fantastic song. Noel's still doing that live, of course. Probably All in the Mind, I really like that as well. So I mean, I would say that was a solid Oasis album. It's mid-tier, I would say, for Oasis, is that album. The next single was Stop Crying Your Heart Out. Again, we're going back to this phase of having CDs and DVDs. Thank You for the Good Times and Shout It Out Loud are two B-sides that, honestly, I can't remember for the life of me. I probably need to go back and have a listen to those. I think that might be something I should do over the next few weeks, is a bit of an Oasis B-sides fest at home. So then there was the DVD of Stop Crying Your Heart Out. And again, this either came out the same day or maybe the week after. It's got the main song, it's got the demo on there, and also it's got video documentary, again, 10 minutes of Noise and Confusion, part 2, featuring their North America tour from June 2001. We've then got this. This was back in that era, great era. I loved this when Sunday newspapers were giving CDs away for free. And a lot of them you could then pick, you didn't have to buy the Sunday newspaper, although sometimes it was exciting to go down and get that on a Sunday morning and get the CD. Or you could pick them up in charity shops for probably 20p a little while later. But this has got a few songs on from Heathen Chemistry, and it's got video content as well. So it's got a Hindu Times video and an exclusive interview with Noel, Liam and Gem. So that's good. And don't forget, minimum system requirements are Windows 98. Log on to the internet. There was no broadband. Was a broadband? We were maybe just about getting broadband by this time. Installation may take 3 minutes. Different times. Simply load the CD into your computer and follow the instructions. Select startup.exe. It's a different world, wasn't it, back then? We've then got a double A side, if you can have a double A side on a CD, of Little by Little and She Is Love. Two great songs there. Did this have... Oh, this had their cover of My Generation. Fantastic. I love Oasis's cover of The Who's My Generation. That was really good. I remember, wasn't that... I think they did that for Radio 1, didn't they? There was a poll, what song do you want to see Oasis cover? And I think there was I think there was a bit of a campaign to try and get them to sing Country House or something like that. But thankfully, My Generation won and they did a fantastic cover of it. Again, then we've got the DVD version of She Is Love and Little by Little. No, just Little by Little, sorry. Yeah, with the demo, and then we've got part 3 of the 10 Minutes of Noise and Confusion North America tour. We've then got Songbird there, and what were the B-sides on this? It's got, oh, You've Got the Heart of a Star, which was decent, and a live version of Columbia on the B-side there. Did we have, did we not have a DVD for Songbird? Maybe not. I don't think I'm missing any, so I would hope there isn't one out there, otherwise I'm going to have to go and buy that. We've then got, I can't even read this. This is, what the heck does that say? It's so small. Lila. So we're kicking off the Don't Believe the Truth era now. I love Lila as a song. I remember hearing that for the first time as the build-up for Don't Forget the Truth. And I Don't Believe the Truth, sorry. And loved it from the moment I first heard it. We've got Eyeball Tickler and Won't Let You Down as B-sides. And I think we've gone out of the era now of the DVDs coming with the CD singles. So then we have Don't Believe the Truth. And for later era Oasis, this is my favourite Oasis album. Real good start with Turn Up the Sun. Alright, Mucky Fingers is a bit... It's a bit sort of Velvet Underground pastiche, isn't it? But yeah, Lila, Love Like a Bomb, Importance of Being Idle, Guess God Thinks I'm Able, I thought was a real good song. Part of the Queue is fantastic. Keep the Dream Alive, A Bell Will Ring. Let There Be Love, I've never been a massive fan of that song, but overall I think that's a really solid album, and I've always really enjoyed that. Oh, we have then got a DVD of Lila, I beg your pudding. It's either got misfiled or maybe it did come out after the album. So we've got on here, documentary, Can You See It Now? Is a short documentary explaining the recording of the forthcoming album, Don't Believe the Truth. Exclusive behind the scenes footage shows the band in the studio. Again, you know, maybe I should go and have a little rewatch of that. I will have watched it at the time. We've got another freebie newspaper CD. This one came from the Daily Mirror. And this is exclusive Oasis tracks to play on your CD player. Rock and Roll Star Live, Rocking Chair, Up in the Sky Live, and Little by Little Live. I probably picked this up from a charity shop, I would think. Videos and interviews, and this is minimum system requirements now. It's still Windows 98. It's still your minimum system requirements for this. This is for promotional use only and not for resale, as it says there. But they were all resold in charity shops. We've then got The Importance of Being Idle. I liked to keep these stickers on because I thought I liked to look back on these years later. This was a 3 for £6 offer. From where? By all 3 formats of Oasis The Importance of Being Idle single for £6 or as individually priced. Okay, fair enough. Oh, we are still in the era of the DVDs then. Pass Me Down the Wine and The Quiet Ones are the B-sides for that, but that's your regular CD single. We've then got the DVD version, again part of that 3 for £6. Where would I have bought this from? Probably either HMV, or would it be Virgin, or would it have been Zavvi by that point I probably bought this from. We've got a demo of The Importance of Being Idle on this DVD version, as well as the video and making of documentary. Obviously a well-loved Oasis video was this one. So yeah, we've got that, and is this... Oh, we're moving on now to Let There Be Love. Okay, which has got B-side Sitting Here in Silence on My Own, fine, and a July 2005 version of Rock and Roll Star, live at the City of Manchester Stadium. There you go. That's the end of the third pile. We're moving on to the last pile now. The final pile. So we are immediately moving into the next era, the final era of Phase 1 Oasis. We've got Falling Down. That must be slightly out of order, I think, because where is my... Oh, Shock of the Lightning. I think it might have got a little bit out of order here. Don't shoot me for that. But I really liked Falling Down. I thought it was a really good song. We've got those Swollen Hand Blues, which was a bit dull, to be honest. And then we're well into the remix era here. We've got the the Gibb mix of Falling Down and the Prodigy version of Falling Down on that CD single. Followed by I'm Out of Time, which is, I mean, this really sort of screams end of Oasis, doesn't it? I think this song, I'm Out of Time remix, and the Shock of the Lightning Jags Cooner remix. I like I'm Out of Time. I like the John Lennon bit at the end. You know, it's got that sample of him where he's talking about whether or not he's going to come back to England, and it's like, you know, what do you think, it's not going to be there if I don't come back? And he never did come back, did he? He never did. So this is Dig Out Your Soul. Probably my least favourite Oasis album, but it's still got some good songs on. I like Bag It Up. Shock of the Lightning's great. I'm Out of Time we've talked about. Falling Down's great. So it's overall, I think it's the weakest Oasis album. This is a booklet version here. Oh, I've got my receipt in here. Let's have a look. Let's just have a look at the hype sticker. That I've still got the hype sticker that came with this, if you want to have a little look at that. And I've got the receipt. I do find with a lot of these receipts, the ink has worn off over the years, but you can see I did buy it from HMV. Did I buy anything else with it that day? I really can't tell, but it looks like I paid £14.97 for this. It's quite a lot, isn't it? Quite a lot. So yeah, that's Dig Out Your Soul, the final Oasis album in a booklet styly. It's got a second disc as well. What was on? I can't even remember what was on the second disc, to be honest. It's a DVD, Dig Out Your Soul bonus DVD. There you go, in case you'd forgotten as well. Put that back in there. So we are then on to the Shock of the Lightning, which, yeah, I think I must have misfiled that. That probably should have come first, shouldn't it, before the album. We've got Shock of the Lightning and then a Falling Down Chemical Brothers remix. There was some other stuff at the time as well that I think I don't have on CD. I don't even know if it was released on CD. Like, there was Falling Down. There was 20-minute versions by, was it the Amorphous Androgynous or something it was called? I've got those as downloads on my computer, so I can listen to them through the hi-fi. Then we're moving on to almost sort of post-Oasis here. The Stop the Clocks box set. Nice artwork by Peter Blake there. A real good overview there, like a greatest hits of the band. And then you've got a bonus DVD there that's got Lockbox interview, some live versions. And again, I probably never played this often because I didn't need to, because, you know, we had everything that was on it. So there wasn't that much need to actually crank this open and play it. But again, maybe I should, for all these extras that, you know, like a lot of things, just never got the attention that they deserved. There was also Stop the Clocks EP came out at around the same time. Hopefully you might be able to see there. This has got Acquiesce, Cigarettes and Alcohol demo, Some Might Say Live in 95, Venue Unknown. Shoddy admin from the Oasis team there, and the master plan on there. So a little scaled down version of Stop the Clocks for those who wanted it. Again, said before, I don't have many bootlegs, but what I have got is this. I got this probably just about when it came out, which must have been in the 96 this was. And I think I got this probably from HMV in Leeds, I would imagine. Sort of interview discs. You can see exactly what's on it there. Don't know whether you can still pick that up on the likes of eBay. And then we're actually moving on to the solo stuff now. In terms of Oasis vinyl, literally all I've got at the moment is Definitely Maybe. That's the version that came out, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And that sounds absolutely fantastic. It just knocks the spots off the CD version. Sounds incredible. And I expect the 30th anniversary version that's just come out yesterday, that I'll be getting on Tuesday. It's the same mastering as that. Should be the same quality. But we're moving on now to post-Oasis. So we've got, this is The Dreams We Have as Children, Noel Gallagher. This is from the Royal Albert Hall, one of the Teenage Cancer Trust gigs that he did. And this came free with the Sunday Times. You can see that, so it's all live versions. If you've not heard this, I would really recommend trying to get hold of a copy of it. It's a really good live album, is that, by Noel. Very enjoyable. And then we've got Noel's High Flying Birds, the first album. So bought on the day of release. I've also got that on vinyl as well. And I just remember what an exciting thing it was when this was announced, because right from the start of Oasis, when Noel was having those occasional B-sides and then doing things like Don't Look Back in Anger, and the fact that he had to sing at the MTV Unplugged Award because Liam didn't, there was always that thought of, oh, Noel Gallagher's solo album, surely he's going to do a solo album. We had to wait until after Oasis finished. But it was exciting because a lot of these songs as well were, ones that could well have been Oasis songs. Had they continued, some of these might have formed the basis of the next Oasis album, especially things like I Want to Live in a Dream in my record machine, which I've got the Oasis demo of. And just, I think it's brilliant songs on here. Obviously, sort of AKA What a Life, Everybody's on the Run, If I Had a Gun. Just fantastic songs, and several of those still are songs that Noel's doing live to this day. Then we've got the second album, Chasing Yesterday, which I think, didn't Noel say that he absolutely hates the title of that album, if I remember rightly. But I think it's got some great songs on it. I thought Riverman, the opening song, is very much a departure for Noel. It was a much more sort of grown-up song from him. But in the heat of the moment, Lock All the Doors, The Right Stuff, again a bit like Riverman, very different for Noel. We Can't Go Back, Ballad of the Mighty Eye. There's some cracking songs on that album. And again, several that he still form part of his live shows. This is like a booklet version. There, the sleeve comes off. And then in there you've got you've got a booklet with pickies and things in it. We've then got Who Built the Moon. It's would it be fair to describe it as a low point in Noel's career? You might think that, but then, okay, well, if not, what is? Well, okay, I can't think of an alternative. But I like Fort Knox at the beginning. It's a Beautiful World. She Taught Me How to Fly. There are still some good songs on here, but it's not amazing. Again, it's like a booklet style. I've still got the hype sticker there that's just fallen out. So booklet style. It's got all pictures, lyrics and all that kind of stuff in there. So that's in terms of CDs. I've got Council Skies on CDs somewhere. I don't know where that's gone, but I've also got Council Skies on vinyl. Maybe we'll come to my Council Skies CD at some point. This is a real nice piece of vinyl. I'll just quickly show you this while we're here, because if you made it this far through the video, you might as well stay to the end. Blimey, lovely looking piece of vinyl, and sounds great as well. I think Dead to the World is one of my favourite songs of, was it just last year this came out? It was, wasn't it? 2023. Dead to the World, fantastic. Pretty Boy's a great song. Open the Door, See What You Find. So again, there's some good songs on here, but I think Noel's albums have been, I can't get that back in there. I'll do that afterwards. You're not going to have to wait for me to do that. I think Noel's albums have been a little bit diminishing returns over the years. Okay, let's move on to Liam. Beady Eye, debut album, different gear, still speeding. I loved Beady Eye. I genuinely did. And I think there's some absolute crackers of songs on here. Four Letter Words, a good rocky opener. Millionaire, The Roller was a great song. Beatles and Stones is very Beatles and Stones. Nothing that you wouldn't expect from the band. Kill for a Dream, Wigwam. I loved Wigwam. That was a fantastic song. And The Morning Sun at the end. I love what Chris Sharrock does with the drums on The Morning Sun, where it's and it just comes down. Then it just starts getting faster and faster and faster. And it just builds up throughout the song. And brilliant. And I hammered this album so much when it came out. I played it so much. Really loved Beady Eye. And then another newspaper version, News of the World, gave this away. And the thing to get this for, absolutely, Sons of the Stage. there, that's track 4. Phenomenal. Now, it was a cover version. I'm trying to remember what the band was called. What was the band called that did Sons of the Stage? I really can't remember now. But Beady Eye's cover of it is fantastic, and probably my favourite thing that Beady Eye ever did. Enhanced bonus content on your PC. So yeah, this is from 2011, they're still doing things to play on your PC. We've then got Beady Eye's second album, BE. So this is the booklet version here. And this was the tour where I saw them live in Leeds. I think I probably showed you the ticket earlier on. However many hours ago it was I started this video. Flick of the Finger is a really fun opening. And then some of the songs on here I'm not too bothered about, but then there is some great things on here. Start Anew. Liam's vocal really sort of dry and up close to the mic and just sounds really, really good. Soul of Second Bite of the Apple as well was a really good song on that. So, you know, they only made 2 albums, but I enjoyed Beady Eye while they lasted. And then, interestingly, I don't seem to have my Liam CDs here. That's, yeah, okay, so things like Why Me, Why Not. But we've got Liam Gallagher, MTV Unplugged. So this was recorded in Hull, if I remember rightly. It's got a mixture of Liam solo and Oasis songs on there. And there's a Once and Gone songs that are on there. I really love those live versions on here, as well as loving the original versions that are on the CDs that don't seem to have made it here, strangely. I've found them. They got put somewhere else. Liam Gallagher, As You Were. First solo album, and I think he surprised a lot of people with this album. I was one of those who expected it to be rubbish, to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, but it wasn't. I think Wall of Glass was a great lead off from it. And if I was going to pick my highlights from here, Bold, Paper Crown and Chinatown, probably not something that a lot of people would pick, but I really like Chinatown. Very different style for Liam. And then we've got Why Me, Why Not. And again, I've talked about Gone and Once has been fantastic songs on there. One of Us I thought was really good as well. And alright, I'm not a fan of everything on these 2 albums, but I think there's enough songs on those 2 to make something that's really sort of set Liam off as having a much better solo career than probably a lot of us expected him to have. And I think Noel was obviously the best regarded for a long time, certainly after Oasis split up. But I think Liam's really turned the tide and done so much better than people expected. And I'm really happy for Liam, to be honest. And then there's this, Back the Way We Came, Noel Gallagher. This was like a 10-year career retrospective, 2011 to 2021. How many discs is it? It is 1, 2, 3 discs in there, in this booklet style. We've got the track listings there. If you want to pause this and have a look at the track listings there for the first 2. So, you know, I followed Oasis all the way through, and Noel and Liam. I'm so chuffed about this reunion. When it started getting teased sort of over a week ago now, it was like, it felt like this is really happening now. So delighted that I managed to get tickets to go and see them again. My daughter's coming with me, so she's not seen Oasis before, so she's really excited about that. I was thinking Wembley, Edinburgh maybe. I ended up going for the first night at Heathen Park, so their first Manchester gig, because as well it's quite early on in the tour as well, so I'm not saying there's less chance that they'll split up by then. I don't think that's going to happen at all, but it'll be a bit fresher for them, and the fact that it's the first night at Manchester, it's going to be amazing. I'm buzzing. I'm well up for this. So let me know your Oasis memories, thoughts, fill in any of the blanks that I've forgotten about these CDs. And thank you very much for watching, especially if you've made it to this point. Well done. See you later.